Yeah. Good morning to all the participants and the panelists. Mr. Chandrashekhar Prabhu, our keynote speaker. Mr. Jagdish Punjabi, the faculty for today. Abhitan Mehta, chairman of the Direct Tax Committee. Harish Bhai Kenya, vice president. And Chirag and Viraj, the office bearers of the Direct Tax Committee. And all the participants. At the outset, I would like to congratulate Abhitan Mehta and his team for conceptualizing this webinar on self-redevelopment and JDA. Nowadays, we see lots of housing societies in Mumbai who are going for redevelopment. Mumbai also has a unique category of old tenanted buildings where tenants get ownership flats against tenanted premises. There are lots of questions in the mind of professionals and house owners about taxation and other regulatory issues. To address this, CTC has organized this webinar. Before we move ahead, I would like to introduce CTC to the participants who are not members. CTC was established in the year 1926. We are in the 97th year. Membership is around 3,700, comprising of lawyers, CAs, and other professionals and students. We have membership across the country. Activities of the CTCs, programs on contemporary topics, RRCs, study circles and study groups. We come out with our monthly journal on direct tax. We come out with quarterly journal on international tax and quarterly journal for students, which is known as Jigyasa. We also make periodical representation to various government authorities for the issues which are faced by the public at large. Our future programs, we have announced an online public lecture meeting on 22nd May on the subject of old versus new tax regime. We have also announced international tax RRC in the month of June at Coimbatore. I would request you all to go through the website of CTC and enroll for programs of CTC. I also invite non-members to become members and all of you to take active part in activities of the chamber in whichever way you can. With these words, wishing you all happy learning. Thanks.
Thank you, Parag. Mr. Prabhu really doesn't need any introduction. He is a public figure, but as a formal request, I would just like to briefly say a few words about Mr. Prabhu. Mr. Prabhu is an architect, professor, editor, painter, artist, TV anchor, educationist, administrator, housing, urban development, management expert who has held public and corporate positions of repute. Mr. Prabhu has been the youngest member of the State Legislative Assembly, has been very actively involved in conceptualizing the SEZ dreams, and then has held various positions in relation to housing development boards and in MMRDA, including a cabinet rank position as the president of the Maharashtra Housing and Area Development Authority. He has been advising various corporate bodies such as Mahindra Lifespace, Urban Infrastructure Venture Fund, Collective Research Initiatives Trust, Eminent ANG, etc., and top central government organizations such as Oil India, Rashtriya Chemical Fertilizers. Until 2016, Mr. Prabhu was the Director General of Maharashtra Economic Development Council, its chief advisor, chaired the editorial board, and edited the magazine Economic Digest. It is a very illustrious bio and much things to learn. I have, due to paucity of time, I have briefly put it, because Mr. Prabhu even has a Wikipedia page dedicated to him. So I will request the participants to also have a look at that. Without much ado, Mr. Prabhu, over to you. Thank you once again for accepting our invite. Sir, you are on mute.
Should I start my presentation?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay. Thank you for having me over. The concept in Mumbai, let me first talk about Mumbai and how the same concept extends everywhere. The redevelopment is a concept wherein a building becomes old and it needs to be redeveloped. So the government in various points in time have given incentives for such redevelopment. And in different types of redevelopment, different FSI incentives have been given. For instance, to name a few, for slums, it is 4 FSI. For old and dilapidated buildings, it is unlimited FSI. In some cases, they have even given 24 FSI. In MADA colonies, the FSI has gone up to 8. In private cooperative housing societies, the FSI has gone up to 4 in some cases. In cluster development, it has gone up to 6. If you provide parking within your society, it will go furthermore. And if you are on government lands, leased lands of government, then the FSI is between 3.5 and 4. If you are in MADA colonies, I already mentioned that it could be in 8. So different types of redevelopment can give different kind of FSI. The original FSI in all these were in the island city, it was 1.33, and in the suburbs of Mumbai, it was 1. Now, the peripheral areas in and around Mumbai, like the MMR region, which is Thane, Kalyan Dombivli, Vasai Virar, Mira Road, Navi Mumbai, Panvel, Uran, Alibag, all these areas had 1 FSI, and now that FSI has been increased to 2.5 plus. You can buy FSI, so it can also go up to 4. So when your existing FSI is X and the government incentive takes it to 4X, then the residents are incentivized into redevelopment, wherein they get larger area and they get more amenities and everything. Unfortunately, this scheme has so far been implemented through the developers who took away a major chunk of the income and left the residents, the tenants, the slum dwellers, everybody high and dry. Where the state government suffered losses, today the state government has 680,000 crore loans which it needs to pay. The builders have consolidated by a very, very rough estimate made 10 lakh crores. So government schemes, government lands in most cases, government enabling, and the builders become fat and government becomes thin. You know why this happens, because the money which goes to the beneficiaries is shared as bribes with those who matter in government, irrespective of their political affiliations. It is a given that the builder has to give bribes, and unless he gives bribe, he doesn't get permissions. The net result was that in Mumbai alone, we have 5,800 redevelopment schemes which are stuck. The builders have gone away. Some of them have taken money. In the country, 4 lakh people connected with the real estate industries, most of them being builders, have in the past 6 or 7 years quit Indian citizenship and taken citizenship from different countries. Small little countries. You being tax consultant and CAs, you must have made a lot of money out of advising these people into leaving the country and going abroad. So small little countries for as little as $100,000 give you citizenship with your family. So you take all your ill-gotten wealth from the real estate projects that you are taking and migrate so that the government can't catch hold of you. So it is not isolated Choksi or Modi or Nirav Modi or whoever who have run away, or Vijay Mallya who has run away. There are more than 4 lakh people connected with the building industry. All the doyens of the building industry have foreign citizenship. Name the builder and check his citizenship. He's got a citizenship. So these redevelopment schemes were used as a conduit for taking money out of the country, and the country lost not just in revenue, not just in taxes, but they took away everything, and they did it in bulk. Ireland, one country itself, in 1 month cleared the applications of 1,000 builders, and lock, stock and barrel, they all went and settled in Ireland. So like this, and small little countries in the Caribbean, small little islands have taken Indians as citizenship. It's given them citizenship, and the country has lost lakhs and lakhs of crores on that. Now, the net result on Mumbai that has happened is that these 5,800 projects are stuck. The builder entered into agreement with the people, and people, gave him the necessary authority. So, power of attorney, he borrowed money from the market based on that power of attorney, promised flats and took money despite RERA prohibiting that, siphoned all the money into different other projects or took it abroad, and the project is stuck. So 5,800 projects are stuck, and the buildings have been demolished, or the slums have been demolished, and people are on the streets because the promised rent which the builder promised never came. And 1,25,980 families, that means about 7 lakh people in this city, are on the street due to redevelopment schemes. So how do we, the government says it's an agreement between a private entity, that is builder, and a private cooperative housing society or a private individual, and you cannot do. Much to the surprise of many who tom-tom the idea of RERA, RERA is not applicable to any redevelopment project at all. So in the whole Mumbai, which has 1 crore 20 lakh people, only 20,000 people buy flats every year, and they are covered by RERA. So rest of the 1 crore 19 lakh odd people have nothing to do with RERA. They are neither protected by RERA, nor are they protected by any other law. And they are virtually on the streets. So when government has raised its hands, nobody can do. If we go to court, sometimes the court arrests the builder and puts him behind bars, but that doesn't solve the problem. The house that we have lost, the poor people, the middle class has lost, the buildings have been demolished, and the houses never come back. And lot of good people from the urban middle class have lost their houses. I know of a branch manager in a senior, in one of the largest banks, nationalized banks in India, is presently virtually staying in a slum because he was staying in Mahim and was promised 70,000 rent, and the first year rent came, and it's been 9 years since then. No rent came. Initially, he managed. He retired from his job. He was a branch manager. And so then he couldn't afford to pay the rent, but he had to survive in Mahim because his grocery shop is there. His entire paraphernalia and infrastructure that is required for him is there. His ecosystem is there. So finally, he had to stay in Mahim Kolivada in a slum as a tenant of a slum dweller on the first floor. So that is the kind of situation that is there. And so how do you find a way out? So a lot of people, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, IIT Mumbai, JJ College of Architecture, all engineering colleges put together architecture colleges like Kamla Raja College, social work institutions like Nirmala Niketan, Tata Institute of Social Sciences. Everybody, all of us sat together for a few days and we deliberated on what can be done. And this alternate model was prepared, mostly authored by me several years ago when we first realized it. And now the implementation is started. It is called the self-redevelopment model. And in self-development, just all the other players in the ecosystem are the same. Just the builder doesn't remain. The financer who finances the builder finances the scheme. The architect who makes the plans, makes plans for this scheme. The project management consultant who does the project management for the builder, does it for the cooperative housing society or the residents. The process of selling is decided by the residents themselves. If they have a doubt of their selling, the flats are underwritten and the schemes are happening. I have put this in a nutshell without going into detail, but I must give you a few examples. Today, 20 buildings have completed redevelopment process. Occupation certificate is there. Everyone has come and stayed there. 40 buildings are in various stages of construction. Some are 5 stories, some and construction is going on. Some are 18 stories and it's a 20-story building and work is going on. 70 projects have received approvals and IOD and are in the process of getting finances, and 790 cooperative housing societies have resolved that their preferred mode of redevelopment is through self-development measures, and that is their preferred mode, and they will go in for self-development. The resolution is in place and they are now identifying architects, engineers and all that. So the entire ecosystem is being built. To give you 2 or 3 examples as to what is the nature of benefit that the people get out of these schemes, I will give you live case studies. Chitra Society in Chembur, near Tilak Nagar railway station on the east, that is exactly halfway down between Kurla and Chembur, a new railway station has come. This is barely 200 meters from the railway station. Chitra Society had people were living in 400 square feet flats. They got quotes from various builders. No builder gave them a quote more than 520 square feet or so. So from 400, someone said, I'll give you 450. Someone said, I'll give you 475. Someone said, I'll give you 500. Someone said, I'll give you. So no one gave them more than 520. And the corpus was that the developer suggested was 2 lakh. The highest corpus was 2.5 lakhs. And they were virtually on the verge of signing with the developer. When I went and explained the self-development model to them, they didn't believe me initially, but when I explained with the statistics and rules, they agreed. And today their building is complete. They've got electricity, they've got water supply. The OC is ready and they're waiting for its inauguration. The building is complete. And hold your breath. In place of 400 square feet, how much area should they have got free of cost without any payment? 1,150 square feet carpet area. Each member has got. So where the builder was giving 525, they've got 1,150. This is not hearsay. This is a project that has been successfully completed. Not just that, I can give you another example of Mulund in Mitagar in Mulund East, which is not considered to be very prime location. Here too, the people had about 400 square feet. Here too, the builders were not willing to give them more than 500 square feet. Here too, they went in self-redevelopment, and now they have completed 20 stories. 4 more stories have to be built, and they are all getting about 1,000 square feet carpet area each. And at the end of the, the flat money is yet to come, but at the end of it, they are likely to get 25 lakhs to 30 lakhs per family as a corpus, from which their maintenance will be free, and they will get a pension to every member worth 15 to 20,000 rupees. Now, that's the kind of difference. Now, more drastic is Pantnagar in Ghatkopar, where they are living in 200 square feet flats. All the builders put together told them that the laws are such that you can't get more than 440 square feet. Some politician told them, no, the rule is 440, but I'll give you 450. But no builder will ever give you more than that. And they came to me and we discussed the whole thing today. They have submitted the plan and got approval for 860 square feet, from 200 to 860 square feet carpet area without paying a penny. Which all these examples go to show that this is viable for them. So it was all the money which now they are getting would have gone to some builder, and the people would have been cheated. So the redevelopment policy itself induces cheating. And when such cheating is induced, why should a builder give the person his house? He would rather pay him and ask him to get lost. So in South Mumbai, we did a survey of the redevelopment schemes, and amongst the tenants who were supposed to be given the houses, 85% of the tenants are no more there. I can give you an example of Hari Nivas, a building in Nana Chowk. If you go to Nana Chowk, you can see that it had 465 tenants. All tenants were shown as having been rehabilitated, and the tenants building in Hari Nivas, which has been built, has only 74 flats. So how did 465 people get rehabilitated in 74 flats? They never got rehabilitated. They just were given money, and their rights were purchased by the builder, who built a 50-story tower and showed that the old tenants were accommodated in the new building. And because they were tenants, their flats were shown as free, given to them. So neither stamp duty, nor GST, nor government, nor taxes, nor capital gains, nothing government got. And all those 400 tenants who had sold got cash money. So there is no record of that money. So the country in one project itself suffered more than 2,000 crore losses. Similarly, another slum project in Tardev, wherein 4,000 families had to be rehoused or reaccommodated, and against the flats for 4,000 families, 20 lakh square feet were given for sale, and those 20 lakh square feet, by the builder's own admission, were sold at 75,000 rupees per square feet. The tall towers giving full view of sea from all the side, from Hajeli side, Breach Candy side, and so on. So at 75,000 rupees per square feet, I'm not counting what he took from car parking and other things. 15,000 crores were collected, and the cost of construction in any case did not go for those 20 lakh square feet beyond, 1,500 crores. So, and land belonged to government. So the government suffered, you and I, the taxpayers, suffered, and some person exploiting the loopholes in the law made thousands of crores of rupees, and the slum dwellers haven't got a house. Most of the houses, when the flats were advertised, they said servants' quarters available. So whoever bought the flats at 10 crores, 20 crores, 30 crores would pay some crore or so, 75 lakhs or a crore for those small houses which were given to the slum dwellers, and that became his staff quarters, servants' quarters, for the sweepers, for ayahs, for drivers to stay, and the slum dwellers never got a house. They took the money and squatted in some other slum. We have even traced the slum dwellers' path from one slum to another when the builder gives them money, and how the next place, again, there is redevelopment and again they shift. So this migration path is also traced. So this has really, redevelopment has become a racket. So instead of going through this racket, the people have a choice of doing it on their own, and that is self-redevelopment. And that as a model is now getting accepted by people, and more people are going in for this self-development scheme. I have more or less summed up the aspects of redevelopment which affect the taxes, the aspect of self-development which benefit the people. Now, if there are any points that I have left out, the organizers may point it out, and then I will complete my presentation, and then we put it open to a question-answer session.
I think so, sir. You have very beautifully summed it up. We have already started receiving the questions in the chat box. So I'll read the questions one by one, and if you may answer them, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, the first question is on who will pay the corpus in case of self-redevelopment scheme?
The scheme pays the corpus. The scheme makes the surplus, and that is the corpus. No one pays it. The scheme pays it.
So basically, sir, how will it operate? If basically the funding for doing construction, how would the process?
Funding for doing construction comes from NBFCs, financial organization. All those people who fund the builder will fund the cooperative society, have already funded the societies, and societies are availing of these funding.
Okay. And sir, is there any issue? We were in one of the cases, the NBFCs want the land parcel as a security. Is that a deterrent in availing?
Not at all. Not at all. See, our contention is that if the tenant's component is, say, 1,000 square feet and 2,000 square feet is to be sold, then the tenant's component is not put under any distress or any lien. The sellable portion is mortgaged to the financial organization. And as the sellable portion gets constructed, the lien on the land is automatically deleted.
So, sir, does the bank have a say? How do you achieve practically the divide on, for example, for a 500 square feet, should I give them a 1,000 square feet, 1,200 square feet? And
what has bank got to do with that? The owners of the space will decide that. And They will decide how much area they will get. First, they will work out the entire cost of the project. Then they will work out the FSI that they get. Then they will work out how much FSI is to be sold to cover the cost of the project. Whatever is remaining, they will divide amongst themselves. Where is the problem?
So only, sir, as a layman, we'll have consultants to assist through the process. Generally, all these things are somewhere taken care of by the builder.
No, builder has no knowledge at all. With builder also, these are done by consultants. There are people who guide or misguide the builder. They are the ones who do it in the builder scheme also. You think Niranjan Niranandani knows what is the difference between a two-way slab and a one-way slab? He doesn't know. He has consultants who does all the thing. Builder only checks his bottom line. So it is the consultant who do the work in a builder scheme. It is the consultant who do the work in a self-development scheme. The people who do the work are the same. Same means same qualification. The self-development people may be slightly more honest than the builders thing, because builders project is fudging numbers and cheating the investor. You know, the builder inflates the cost to show the investor, to bleed the investor. Here, whatever are the basic costs, one of the bank people were shocked because they have been giving builder a construction cost of 5,000 rupees. We asked for 3,000 rupees. They say, how can you do within 3,000 rupees? We said, the cost is 3,000. You are giving 5,000 because you are getting bribes from the builder to approve the padded amount. And we completed the building within 3,000 rupees per square feet. So 20 buildings are there. We have all the case studies. And when you honestly work out the cost, and it's simple, you know from the plan how much cement is used, you know how much steel is used, you know how much sand is used, and you know how much labor is used, and add to that 10 to 15% as profit for the contractor, you get the cost. That cost comes to, for a 30-storied building, 2,700 or something, and evening it off, 3,000 becomes a good price. Whereas the banks and those who support the bank, most of the accountants have no clue about the technical things. So they are given some funda by some technical people, and they fight saying that this is the correct number. So it's a dog eat dog. You cheat someone, someone cheats you, both of you cheat someone else. So it's a chain of cheating.
And sir, another how the concern of getting government approvals is taken care of in self-reliance.
Yeah, the same way as the builder's approval is. No builder goes to take approval from any government agency, because if the builder personally were to go to take approval of the agency, he would have to pay so much bribe that his project would never take off. So builder appoints a person called a liaison architect, and the liaison architect is a person who gets approval from the builders. Similarly, here also we have appointed liaison architects, and the liaison architect does exactly all the permission, and we have milestones fixed for him, and wherein as and when he gets the permissions, we give him the payment according. We check the permission and take the payment as per decided by the contract, and we have had no issues with them.
Okay. So, sir, just to understand, the society will have one consultant who will interact with all the consultants, or
No. That depends. There are various models that different societies have different kind of models. Some place it's the architect who interacts with the society. Then there is a liaison architect himself as a structural consultant. They look after, between liaison, architect and structural consultant, approvals are taken care of. If it's a larger space, then we appoint a PMC. If it's a smaller building, then sometimes the architect does the work of the PMC for a percentage or two more. So there are various people, and in some cases, if the cooperative society doesn't have the bandwidth, they appoint some project manager, in the sense an individual whom they interview, a good engineer who does the coordination and gets a salary per month.
Okay. Okay. So the ecosystem, full-fledged ecosystem is available with different variations depending on the need and the size of the society.
Of course, because an architect wants work, you know, when an architect works with the developer, he's unhappy. He's unhappy because the developer doesn't permit his creativity to be exploited to the best extent. He says, चारों तरफ इतना जितना भी स्पेस छोड़ना है गवर्नमेंट के नियम के अनुसार उतना छोड़ो, बाकी जो बचता है उस पे बिल्डिंग ठोक डालो. Wherein no architect worth his salt would ever stand by his building and take his picture, because he knows that planning wise it's disastrous. So here the architect in self-development can get a scope to design well because he can interact with the people. Normally it's like playing blind in a game of flush. Architect doesn't know who he is designing. He's just making buildings, and then people come in. Here we know who the people who we are designing. So architect speaks to every individual member and understands from him his requirements and takes collective requirements as a group and designs. So architecturally, even design wise, it's better and it's more creative. So architect is happy because he gets paid on time. Builder never pays on time. Structural engineer is happy because he can churn out better quality construction. When he does the structural design for the builder, he's not too sure whether the contractor is using the correct material, and the builder will never allow him to interfere between him and the contractor because there lot of hera-pheri in accounts is happening. The contractor is also happy because he can churn out good quality buildings without because he doesn't have to give money to the builder on the sly. And here there is a cooperative society. So if he wants, he can churn out good buildings which he can showcase as a good quality construction. So different societies have different models, but they are all managed through professionals.
So it is in a way a win-win for the professionals, the architect, and certainly a much better, bigger flat for the society members, and the quality is assured.
See, larger area than what any builder can give, better planning than what any builder can give, better quality construction than any builder can give. And most important, there is a guarantee that you will get the flat because you are not giving power of attorney for someone not knowing when he'll just migrate and go to some Caribbean island and settle there with your money. So here you are in control and you decide on everything, and more corpus so that your maintenance is free. No builder scheme gives that.
There is a question from Samir Sangvi that if 50% of the society members agree to pay for the whole construction cost, can they be allotted the saleable area?
So that general body will have to decide. See, in the self-development, it's general body which decides. General body first has to, the process is very simple. You have to work out the full cost of the project. You have to work out what rate you are going to sell. You have to work out how much portion you have to sell for recovering the full cost, including rent, including whatever corpus that you give, which is much more than what builder would give you. And then from the remaining will be divided amongst the members on pro rata basis if there are different size of flats, or if they are same size, then on equal basis. And the residents get a better deal. Now, instead of getting money from the bank or investor, if some members want to invest, then there is a model which can be worked out for that. But the 50% of the members can't be a developer. The developer becomes a society and profit is shared by the society. the members can get surplus area at a discounted price, which they can later sell.
Absolutely. So in substance, it has to be a redevelopment and cannot, in the garb of the 50%, as you said, become the developer by buying the.
Then it is a developer model. Then it is not a self-development. Self-development model is a model where all the members of the society are equal and share equal. If you don't have money, then you don't have to pay any money. You get a free flat and a corpus. If you have money, then you can buy more area at a discounted price, later sell that area. Either way, it is a win-win situation.
Yes. Sir, there is a GST question that what will be the transaction value for the levy of GST under this redevelopment model? Whether TDR issue will arise or.
No. The GST in the redevelopment model has been fixed. Now for self-redevelopment model, the government has taken a decision. There is a GR on 13th September 2019. Its implementation has not been done, but the cabinet has resolved that its implementation will be done from now onwards, wherein the state part of the GST only for self-development schemes would be waived.
Okay. So one more incentive for opting for.
No, that is not alone. 10% more FSI than what any builder would get comes for self-development. That is one. If the society takes loan from a bank, 4% of the interest paid to the bank comes as subsidy from the government to the bank directly. So member, if for instance Mumbai Bank, we took a loan at 12.5%, but the members will have to return back only 8.5%. The 4% comes from the government. Then all the premiums to be paid to the government, various premium, open spaces deficiency, premium for balconies, premium for staircase, premium for common passages, all, whatever the builder pays, we will get 50% discount. Then we will get stamp duty exemption only for self-development schemes. We will get the GST discount, and main thing, we'll get a one window system. One window system is every organization which gives the approval will have a senior IAS officer sitting there. We go and submit all our papers to him. He is responsible for getting all the approval and giving us the approval. So we don't have to go to the 60 tables that is there, the one window system. And within 3 months, all the permissions, if are not given, they will be deemed to have been given.
So this policy is already in place, already functioning, or would be implemented?
Yeah, policy is already in place. 13th September 2019. If you can type GR on self-development, you can read it. It's a government resolution which is there. The day this policy was made, 13th September 2019, elections were held, and after that there was a turmoil. Then the new government came, then there was problem. Now that government has gone. So all these issues, so implementation was not started. It has started partially. For instance, MADA has already set up a one window cell. They have appointed a deputy chief engineer in charge of the one window. All the permissions in MADA colonies are brought by that one window. The self-development society doesn't have to go anywhere. They have to only go to this one window person, and they have to interact with him. So that's what is happening. So there are a lot of things that have been agreed and given, a lot of things not yet, but now the cabinet in the last assembly, the chief minister and deputy chief minister announced that all the points in the GR will not only be implemented, new points will be added, and all facilities will be started as per the GR.
So this will even significantly improve the benefits one derives from,
Yeah.
and the ease as well, one window clearance.
Yeah.
Sir, there is a question that whether a tenanted building can go for a self redevelopment model.
Yes, if the tenants get together, form a proposed cooperative housing society, there are two ways in which they can go. One way is they give an offer to the landlord that, look, instead of selling your building to the builder, we will buy the building from you and sell it to us. Whatever the builder would have given, whatever terms and conditions, we will fulfill those terms and conditions, and we will be the owner, and we will better the conditions. The builder were to give you 50 crores, we may give you 50 crore plus. So we will see that you don't go into, you get more profits than what the builder. That is one model. Second model is that they give a offer to the landlord that let's do it together. So the landlords and the tenants get together and both decide that we are going for self-development and that there is no builder here. We will all share the profits amongst ourselves, and so the landlord benefits, the tenant also benefits.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insights and answering all the questions.
Any other question? You are only asking questions. Any
No, sir,
question from the audience?
I'm reading from various Q&A box and chat box and putting it across.
But you didn't tell me who was asking from where.
Sorry,
I would have loved to know that.
so sir, the system provides the names of the people, doesn't provide the city from which they have joined. So we had a question from Ketan Vajani, we had a question from Srinivasan, we had a question from Mr. Parag Ved, then we had questions from Samir Sangvi, we had question from Mansi Mahesh Chheda, and a question from Sharad Kantilal Sheth. So
And any questions from your organizers? What about you guys? Do you have any queries about this?
Harish Bhai or Jagdish Bhai, if you would like to.
Parag has already covered that question.
No, Abhitan, the subject was well covered, so I think.
Or are you too stunned by the presentation that you are still grouping in the dark? Ki kya puchna hai?
No, sir, I think so it is a good takeaway on things and the positives, the numbers which you have put across. From a 200 to going only to 400, rather you can go to 1,000 or 1,200 size flat is something mind-boggling, if I may say. And one is
from 200, it is 860, but from 400 to 1,000.
so that gives a lot of perspective on how one should approach and look at. What one has been slightly hearing sometimes is the committee has to manage. You don't have maybe have a go-to person, but if the profit is or the benefit is so significant, one may look at this model with more positivity. And as you said, there is a concept of single window clearance, because sir, if I may put it, when there is a society of say 30-40 people, there is a inherent mistrust, if I may use the word, that whether the committee members are having any with the
the mistrust is there, and it is right that there should be mistrust, because most of the time the committee member take money from the builder, and in a redevelopment scheme, that is why the schemes are this thing, because the first thing the builder do, I have worked with builders also, so I know the table from all the sides. I've worked with the largest funding agency in the country as the chief advisor, wherein I have funded builders to the tune of 30,000 crores. So I know what it is to fund a builder. I have worked with the largest builders in the country as a chief advisor, wherein I know what the builders do to make redevelopment schemes successful. And now I am advising the societies, and this is a pro bono work. I don't charge any society any money for giving them advice. This is a completely pro bono exercise. There is no money directly or indirectly that I am expecting from the people. Just that they should make this model successful. And most of the models that I have guided have been more than successful. Where illegal consultants come in, they try and deprive the people of their legitimate profits. I ensure, because I have nothing to gain, so I ensure that the full profit goes to the people, and the consultant gets their legitimate share of percentage, which which otherwise what percentage the consultant would have got from the builder, he would get that kind of percentage. But unfortunately, now builders have closed their companies and they are under a new garb, becoming financiers for self-development to get advantage of all these things. But government should be smart, should understand that this is backdoor entry. They want to give self-development a bad name. इधर भी घुस जाओ, इधर भी पैसा खा जाओ, बाद में बोलेगा कि देखो सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट भी सक्सेस नहीं हुआ. आज तक our success rate is 100% because no scheme has stopped, because all the members are keen to get the scheme done. In the builder scheme, if it gets delayed, the builder is not bothered, because every year that it gets delayed, 20-30% prices increase. So it is in his interest to get the scheme delayed. Whereas in a self-development, it is in no one's interest to get it delayed. Everyone wants to get it done. So this scheme is beneficial and more successful. So people are coming with alternate models, like, someone says EM model, main paisa dunga. There's a sham, that's a way of cheating people. I mean, the societies which come to me don't touch the DM model. DM model is cheating. You do everything in the name of society. So if you do some wrong things, then the society, poor people will get into trouble, and you take away a chunk of the profit rather than giving to those by just saying, मैं पैसा arrange करता हूँ और मुझे 10%, 15% do, which means without taking the responsibility, you become a builder and you cheat the people. So that model, that's a separate model. Like a builder's model is not successful, so now they are trying a DM model, but that's not self-development. Self-development is a model where all the benefit goes to the members.
Sir, there are 3-4 more questions which have come up. If I can.
Yeah.
So, sir, the first question is, what about misuse of PAP scheme? Use of PAP is legal, correct or not? This is from Mr. Nikhil Parmar.
No, but PAP scheme in self-development, the question doesn't arise. PAP is generally in builder scheme to get maximum benefit to the builder. And if the society doesn't want a PAP scheme, it can tell the builder that if you are doing PAP scheme, we don't want to sign agreement with it. In self-development, generally, they don't go for PAP schemes.
Sir, what is the full form of PAP, if I may ask?
Project affected person. If you promise the government that I will build a building for project affected persons, then the government gives you extra FSI, which you can sell and cover the cost of that building. So what the builders do is they promise the government and then don't give the PAP flats and sell that also. Today in the island city of Mumbai alone, the builders owe the government 45,000 crores from the PAPs, which PAP flats they promised. They sold the PAP flats. So government said, okay, if you have sold it on that side, give it to me within 1 kilometer distance. That they defaulted on, did not give. The government said, okay, if you can't give that, at least give me the cost by selling whatever it is. Now that cost is coming to 40,000 crore. They are not giving a single penny, and they are just bribing the government officials left, right, and center, because it's a big amount, 40,000 crores. All the builders put together, get together and bribe the politicians and bureaucracy over there.
Sir, there is a last question from Mr. Anand Mehta. Please guide on collector NOC, including conversion to freehold land process.
See, collector land is on government lands, and collector has allotted lands to cooperative housing society all over the state and the country. So now, if you are on collector land, either you have occupancy right, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, and so on, or you have lease right, wherein you have entered into a lease agreement with government and you have to follow that lease agreement. Now, either way, government, if you want to go for redevelopment while continuing to be a lessee of the government, you can do that. You have to go and apply to the collector, and the revenue department gives you permission for redevelopment. That is one way. But that, people say there is a lot of corruption. Unless you bribe your way through, you don't get this NOC. That people were fed up of paying bribes to the collector's office and officers all the time. I have known some deputy collectors who are now big builders. I mean, getting 40,000, deputy collector in those days were getting 45,000 rupees salary. And by working as a deputy collector in Mumbai for 6 or 7 years, the person now heads a builder's firm which has 5,000 crore worth value. So that is the kind of bribe that happens in the collector's office. So the government decided that there should be a one-time settlement. You pay certain percentage of the market price and you become freehold. Then you don't have to come to the government in any way whatsoever. But there also, the Nagpur government lands were made ownership by paying of 5% of the ready reckoner price, whereas the Mumbai lands it was kept at 15%, and in some cases, rare cases, 12% or something. So the Mumbai residents are very upset with government that why do you want the Nagpur people to get 5% if Nagpur are getting ownership rights, freehold land rights at 5%, then Mumbai should also get. So that matter is pending with the government. The present government has assured there is an association of allottees of government lands. It has assured that it will look into it and reduce the prices. So because 15% of the ready reckoner price is too high a value for government allotted lands, they are middle class people. They cannot pay that kind of money upfront. So again, they have to go to a builder. So this apparently this increase from 5% to 15% was done at the instance of the builder, so that अरे ये लोग पेमेंट नहीं कर सके 5% कुछ भी करके भर देगा तो फिर हम लोग को कौन पूछेगा इससे अच्छा इसको 15% रखो they won't have the money then the builder will say मैं भर दूंगा and take away all the benefits and profits out of the project.
Very insightful, sir, I must say. Thank you so much, sir, for sparing the time. And
any other questions or
no, sir, we have answered all the questions. I will, sir, request Ketki to give the formal vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really very insightful. We never knew so many aspects being a layman, and thank you for enlightening us for so many things which in the real world we thought never existed. We, on behalf of CTC and all the participants, we really thank you.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
What else are you discussing today?
Sir, income tax on redevelopment